Hi everyone, I'm Jackie and welcome to my channel, Cherished Memories Crochet. Today I'm going to show you how to crochet my 3D Blazing Daisies granny square. This one with the border measures about 4.5 inches. And if you'd like to have a bigger square, use a bigger square than the 5mm. And you also have the option of not doing a border, and if you don't do the border and you use the 5mm, it's going to be about 4.25 inches wide. And here's a purple one. And I also have a hexagon shaped one, and I'll put a link to it in the description box in case you'd rather do the hexagon one. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. I've already got my yarn attached, and we are going to chain 5. Now we're going to slip stitch into that first chain that we did, just like that. Okay, now we're going to chain 1, and now we're going to go right in the center of that chain 5, and we're going to do 16 single crochets, just like that. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and go through both loops. So now I have 2. There's 3. So go ahead and finish that up, and I'll meet back with you when I have all 16 of my single crochets. Okay, I've got all 16 of my single crochets, and now we're going to just skip over that chain 1 and slip stitch into that very first single crochet we did. You're going to chain 1, pull your yarn, we're going to fasten off. Okay. Now for this one, I'm going to use pink, and you're going to attach your new color of yarn to any single crochet. Okay. So now we're going to chain 3 and 3, and now we're going to do 3 triple crochets all in the same space. And for those that don't know how to do that, you're going to yarn over 2 times, insert your hook back in that same stitch there, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now we have 4 loops on our hook. You're going to yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over, go through the second 2, yarn over, and go through the last 2. So now we need 2 more of those. So we're going to yarn over 2 times, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over, go through the second 2, yarn over, go through the last 2. So we have our chain 3, we've got our 2 triples, and we need 1 more triple, so I'm going to yarn over 2 times, insert your hook, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over, go through the second 2, yarn over, and go through the last 2, just like that. Okay, now we've got our chain 3 and our 3 triples. We're going to chain 3, just like that. And now we're going to go right back in that same space and do a slip stitch. Just like that. Okay, so now we're going to skip the next stitch, and we're going to go into the next one after that and do a slip stitch. So you're doing this in every other one. Just like that. And now we're going to chain 3, and we're going to do our 3 triples, yarn over 2 times, insert your hook, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over, go through the second 2, and the last 2. So I'm going to do 2 more. I've got, okay, now we're going to do our chain 3. We're going to slip stitch in that same space. And this is what we should have. You've got 2 petals so far. And go ahead and continue the same pattern until you get to the end, and you will have 8 petals. And I'll meet you here at the end. Okay, I've got all my petals done. And now you've got one more space right here after your last petal. We're going to slip stitch into it. And now we're going to be working in front of the petals. We're going to chain 3. And you don't want to make these too tight. And now we're going to skip over this petal, and we're going to slip stitch into the stitch that we missed, or we skipped over right here in between the petals. And if you have a hard time going into the single crochet, you can just go into this part right here where your petal is, because it gets kind of tight. So there's my single crochet that I skipped. I'm just going to slip stitch into there. Just like that. Now I'm going to chain 3. I'm going to skip over the next petal, and I'm going to go into that single crochet that we skipped and do a slip stitch. And you're going to continue the same pattern all the way to the end, and I'll meet you here at the end. Okay, I just did my last chain 3, so I'm going to skip over here to where we started the chains, and I'm going to slip stitch into that same stitch. I'm going to chain 1, pull my yarn tight, fasten off, and this is what you should have so far. You'll have to work on the petals later. Now we're going to take this chain 3, and we're going to pull these petals through there. And it's going to be a little bit tight. So go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back when I get all of mine done. Okay, so this is what we should have so far. And your chain 3s are behind the petals now. So we're going to attach your new color of yarn into one of the chain 3s. So we're going to be working behind the petals now. And it helps just to push the petal forward. Okay. So now we're going to chain 3, and this acts as our first double crochet. Now we're going to go right back in that same chain 3 space and do 2 more double crochets. And now we're going to chain 2, and we're going to go right back in that same chain 3 space and make 3 more double crochets, and this will be our first corner. So I need 1 more. So we have the chain 3, 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. Now we're going to skip over to the next chain 3 space, and we're going to do 3 double crochets. Just like that. So we've got our corner, and then we've got 3 double crochets, and now in the next chain 3 space you're going to do another corner, and in the next chain 3 space you're going to do 3 double crochets. So continue that pattern. We've got the first corner, we have the 3 double crochets. The next chain 3 space will be our second corner. The next chain 3 space will be your 3 double crochets. So go ahead and continue that, and I'll meet you here at the end of the row. Okay, I'm at the end of the row, and we're going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 3, just like that. So now we have this so far. We've got our flower, and we have our first row into the granny square. Okay, so now we're gonna what I like to do is I like to slip stitch. I always like to start in the corners when I do granny squares. So I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch into the next 2 stitches and into the corner. And I like to do that because I just think it looks a lot better, a lot smoother. Okay, so now we're going to chain 3, and that acts as our first double crochet. And now we're going to do 2 double crochets all in the same corner. We're going to chain 2, and now we're going to put 3 more double crochets in this corner. So we have our chain 3, 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets. Now we're going to skip over these 3 double crochets from the first row, and we're going to work in between this set and the second set. And we're going to do 3 double crochets there. There's 1, 2, and 1 more. Just like that. Now we're going to skip over this, the next 3 double crochets, and we're going to work in this space between these 3 and the next 3. And we're going to put 3 double crochets in there. And so now here's the corner. This is your second corner. We're going to do 3 double crochets. Chain 2 and 3 more double crochets in the same corner there. And now we're ready to do 3 double crochets in this space and 3 double crochets in that space, and then you're ready for your third corner. So this is what we have so far. You've got your corner, you have your set of 3 double crochets, and your next set of 3 double crochets, and your corner. So go ahead and continue this same pattern, and I'll meet you here at the end. Okay, I'm at the end of the row, and now we're going to slip stitch to the top of that chain 3 there, just like that. So this is, I'm just doing 2 rows of the granny square. You can go ahead and continue if you'd like. I'm going to go ahead and cut off. I'm going to slip stitch into the corner. I'm going to chain 1. And there's your granny square. The border is optional. I'm going to go ahead and add it. I like it better with the border. And you can start off. What I like to do is I don't start in the corners for the border. I'll go into the stitch right before a corner, just like that. It just makes I think it makes the corners look a little bit better. Okay, so I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to go right back into that same stitch and do a single crochet. So now here's your corner. I'm going to do a single crochet, a chain 2, and then go right back in that same corner and do 1 more single crochet. So far we have the chain 1, single crochet, and in the corner single crochet, 2 chains, and another single crochet. So now we're going to work across this side, putting a single crochet in each stitch, just like that. And then when we make it to the corner, you're going to do a single crochet, chain 2, and another single crochet in the second corner, and you're going to work down the side doing the same thing, a single crochet in every one. And go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you here at the end of the row. Okay, I'm at the end of the row. I'm going to skip over this chain 1, and I'm going to just slip stitch into that first single crochet. Oops. I'm going to chain 1 and fasten off. And there's your granny square. And I didn't slip stitch into the corner, so you have this big hump. That's why I like to go into the corner, but that shows you the difference. You see where I did just slip stitch into the corner, and this is what it looks like when you don't, but when you weave in the ends it looks better. You might have to straighten up your petals a little bit. It helps to put your thumb in there and just push out on it. I'm going to fix that. I'm going to slip stitch. I don't like the looks of it. So the border is optional. If you prefer it, you can go ahead and use it. I like it better. Here's this is the one with the border, and here's one without it. But both are cute. I like both, but the border is my favorite. I want to thank you for watching my tutorial today, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And hopefully I'll see you in my next video. And until then, God bless and happy crocheting. Bye-bye.